Now we're going to talk about absolute value inequalities. An absolute value inequality is a special type of compound inequality. Just like the absolute value equations where we have to get rid of the absolute value and create two different equations, we kind of have to do the same thing with the absolute value inequalities. We've got to get rid of the absolute value symbol, but it's not quite as straightforward as the equations. Whoops. When we do absolute value equations, we're going to get either an AND problem. Whoops, hold on. We're going to get an AND, or we're going to get an OR problem. Now, we talked about this in the compound inequalities. All right. Sorry, this keeps messing up. All right, let's look at the AND inequalities. All right, so you've got to convert this to where it's an AND inequality. So anytime you've got one of these symbols, whoops, I'm going to do that. These two symbols means an AND problem. Not only that, I said earlier in the compound inequalities that there was a certain type of AND problem that is sandwiched in between. And that's the special AND where it's sandwiched. Now, I want you to notice the less than, the and the word sandwich all have an AN. We need to kind of associate that. Since they all have ANs, less than is an AND, which means it's sandwiched. Alright, less than means AND, which means it's sandwiched between two numbers. So I want to look at this one. Since it's a less than, which means AND, that also means we're going to sandwich it between two numbers. So you take the X and you put two less than symbols. And since that's a 4, we put -4 on the left and +4 on the right. Put negatives on the left, positive on the right. So notice this is the X is sandwiched between those two numbers. Here's some more examples. Here we have X is less than or equal to 7, so it's a less than, which means it's sandwiched between. So this is what it looks like. Here's 1. That's the absolute value of X plus 1 is less than 15. Since it's less than, it's sandwiched in between. So it's going to be -15. X plus 1 is less than 15. So that should all be on one line, but we're setting it in between. Another way you can kind of remember, hopefully you can remember this, look at the word sandwich. It's got the word and in it. Sandwich and less than. Kind of just say that to yourself. Less than and sandwiched. All right. Here's another example. We've got X minus 7 is less than 5. So when we set it up, this is what it looks like. Now, so we're going to solve it just like we did in the past. We've got to get rid of that 7 from the middle. And in order to get rid of it, we have to add it to both sides. Add it to the middle, the right, and the left. Alright, so when we do that, we're going to end up with 2 less than or equal to 12, 2 less than or equal to X less than or equal to 12. So here's the step where I added 7. Now, just like before, I've got to write this in interval notation. So here's the interval notation. I put the 2 on the left because it's on the left. I put the 12 on the right because it's on the right. Since it's just a less than, it's going to be parentheses. Alright, let's go work some problems. Let's say we have, whoops, we'll take absolute value of 2x minus 3 is less than 9. Well, I see the less than symbol, which means the 2x minus 3 is going to be sandwiched in between positive 9 on the right, negative 9 on the left. Whoops. Now comes the part where we solve it. So we got to get rid of the 3 in the middle. We're going to add it to the right, the left, and the middle. So we get negative 6 less than 2x less than 12. Then we've got to get rid of the 2 in the middle, so we divide everything by 2. Alright, so we're going to end up with negative 3 less than x less than 6. So my interval notation will be negative 3 comma 6 2 parentheses. Alright, let's do, we'll do x minus 4 less than or equal to 7. So I see the less than symbol, which means my variable, my x minus 4, is going to be sandwiched in between, in this case, a positive 7 on the right and a negative 7 on the left. Then we do the solving, so we're going to add 4 to both sides and the middle. We get negative 3 less than or equal to positive x less than or equal to 11. So negative 3 on the left, comma 11. Now this time, since it's less than or equal to, you've got to put the brackets. Alright, let's do another one. Let's do, well, let's do one like this. Let's say I had x minus 6 plus 3 less than 2. No, let's don't do 2. Let's do 5. Just like with the equations, notice I've got a constant on the outside, which we can't have. So we have to subtract it from both sides and get it set up right. We're going to get absolute value of x minus 6 less than 2. And again, it's the less than symbol, so we're going to be sandwiched in between positive 2 and negative 2. The only other step we can do is just add 6 to the middle and both sides. So we get positive 4 less than x less than 8. So my interval notation will be comma 4, I mean not comma, parentheses 4, comma 8, parentheses. Okay, so that's the less than. Let's talk about the or inequality. Now, the or inequalities will have the greater than symbol. Now, I don't know if you, this is how I say to remember it. If you say the word greater than a certain way, it sounds like you're saying great or than, the great or than symbol. So I say it like that to help me remember it's the or problem, the great or than. Now, obviously, that's not how you spell the word greater, but if you hear me say it, the greater than symbol, the great or than, or, great or, great or, great or, over and over and over again. That tells me it's going to be an or problem. Now, when we're setting up the or problem, we're going to have the word or in the middle, we're going to have a less than on the left and a greater than on the right. How can I remember that? Well, less than and and left both start with L. Left is less than. The right has to be the greater than. We only have two choices. Now, just like with the and, on the left side, we're going to have a negative number, and on the right side, we're going to have a positive number. You also got to think of that or as a zero. Negatives on the left is 0, positives on the right is 0. Now, here's some examples. Here I've got x is greater than 7. And look how I set it up. I put the word or. I've got a less than -7 on the left, a greater than -7 on the right. And notice where the x is. It's on the left side of the inequality symbol. So it's got to be x less than, and then the number, x greater than the number. Look at this one. I'll put the word or. I put a less than or equal to on the left, greater than or equal to on the right. I put a -5 on the left, +5 on the right. And then the only other thing we have is the 2x. So the 2x goes to the left of the inequality symbols. Alright, look at this one. We got the word or. I've got a less than symbol on the left, greater than symbol on the right. There's a negative number on the left and a positive number on the right. So we're setting up two inequalities. Sorry, I don't know where that went. I'm setting up two inequalities. And we're going to solve each one of them. Now, with the or problems before, we have the union symbol. Most of the time we have the union symbol. This time, our interval notation will always look like this. You will always have a union symbol. If it's less than, you're going to have parentheses. If it's less than, if it's greater than, you're going to have parentheses. If it's greater than or equal to, you're going to have brackets. But it's going to set up like this every time. There's no other option. The answer will look like this all the time. Now let's work some examples. We'll start with number 1. Okay, so let's do x minus 3 greater than or equal to 7. First thing you want to do is put the word or. Then you want to put a less than or equal to on the left, greater than or equal to on the right. Since the number is 7, we're going to put -7 on the left, -7 on the right. And the only other option we have is the x minus 3, so we'll put x minus 3 on both sides. Now, I don't know what the answer is yet, but I know it's going to look exactly like this. It's got a less than or equal to, so we're going to have a bracket. We're going to have a union symbol, another bracket, positive infinity, and a parentheses. I may not know what the numbers are yet. We're going to find that out, but I know my answer is going to look just like this. Okay, so we're going to start solving it. We're going to add 3 to both sides. So we get x is less than or equal to -4. Whoops, hold on a second. That should be +7. I don't know where I got that. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. So x will be greater than or equal to 10. Those are the two numbers that go in the interval notation. The smallest number goes on the left, obviously. The larger number goes on the right. So this is the final answer. Let's say I had 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal. No, we're going to do a greater than 7. So it's a greater than, which automatically means it's an OR problem, the great OR than. I'm going to have a less than symbol on the left, greater than symbol on the right. Since my number is 7, we're going to put a negative 7 on the left and a positive 7 on the right. The only other piece we have is the 2x plus 1, so we'll put 2x plus 1 on both sides. Now, again, I know what my answer is going to look like. It's going to look like this. Now, it's going to have a parentheses this time because it's just a less than. So it automatically looks like this. I just got to figure out what the numbers are. Well, let's go solve it and see. So we subtract 1 from both sides. 2x is less than negative 8. Divide both sides by 2. So get x to be less than negative 4. So the negative 4 goes here. This one we subtract 1 from both sides. So we get 2x is greater than 6. Divide by 2. So x will be greater than 3. So the 3 goes on this side. This is the final answer. I'll do one more. Oops. Let's do 4x plus 2 greater than or equal to, I don't know, 8. So again, it's greater than or equal to, so it's an OR problem. Less than or equal on the left, greater than or equal on the right. It's an 8, so we put positive 8 on the right, negative 8 on the left. The only other option we have is the 4x plus 2, so that's going to go on both sides. Alright, now we go to solve it. We'll subtract 2 from both sides. I'm going to get 4x less than or equal to negative 10. I'm dividing by 4. Now, I've got to simplify this. Negative 10 over 4 simplifies down to negative 5 over 2. This one we subtract 2 from both sides. We get 4x greater than or equal to 6. We divide by 4, and again, we have to simplify it. Greater than 3/2. Okay. So the interval notation, it's got brackets. And the numbers we're going to put in there are negative 5/2 and 3/2. And that's the final answer. This takes practice. Make sure you're doing the homework that's assigned.